Hey everyone, it's Sam from Raggedy Bits. Welcome back to another week of Waste Not Wednesday. I hope everyone is having a wonderful week so far. If you see the little red live button at the top there, that means you're watching me live. If you don't see that little red button, that probably means you're watching the replay. So don't forget to comment hashtag replay and let me know where you're tuning into. It's always so lovely to see where you're all tuning in from. So I think I'll just do what I normally do. I'm just going to run through quickly what we did last week for Waste Not Wednesday. We made over these cute little mini bunt tins, and there was this little bell which I found over in, I think it's like an old phone bell. We turned that into a little jack-o'-lantern. Just excuse me for 1 minute. I'm just going to quickly update all the technology things that I need to do. Perfect. So yeah, so as I was saying, we just made these sweet little pumpkins, which I just embellished with a little grubby tag, which we covered in book page, and then we stamped a little bit of calico, and I added some green moss and a little jute bow on the big one. I think these are a cute little set, and these are actually going to be available tomorrow night if you guys would love to join in all the fun with the Sip and Shop. Now I've got to be careful I don't say a swear word. The Sip and Shop night tomorrow night. So these will be available over there at 7 o'clock here on my page. I haven't done one for a little while, so that'll be fun. And then we just repurposed this little bell, as I was mentioning before, into these little jack-o'-lantern. We just added some Spanish moss. I made a little vinyl face and stuck him on there. So they're super cute. Just some little upcycling things that you can do out of anything, really. Oh, and I forgot to turn on, I don't know if you guys can see at the back here, I could only find two, but how stinking cute. I know you might have seen them on Pinterest. These are some lampshades that I found while I was out thrifting, and I've just stuck on some little ghosty eyes, and I meant to turn on the little flickering light, so that sits up underneath there. It's probably a bit bright on the light, but I wanted to have these on in the background, so I'll turn those on so you can see them up over my head, hopefully. But they're so stinky cute, so keep an eye out if you're out thrifting for some sort of clear, lampy, shady sort of things. And if you don't have access to a cutting machine, you can always just cut out some, like some little black stickers or something into some cute little ghost faces. And yeah, just turn them into cute little ghost decor. I thought they turned out really cute, but I'm probably not, I don't know. I'm deciding whether I'm going to sell those or I'm going to take them home so I can decorate at home with them. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Okay, just also wanted to give a shout out to my people over on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing this over there later as a replay, so I hope you guys are all doing well. Hi there, Chris. How you going? Lovely. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a good week. What's the snack situation like this week, Chris? Okay, so I'm just going to quickly run through what we're going to do tonight. So you may or may not have seen these mailers that you get from Amazon, and some crafts and bits and pieces that people have been doing with them. And I know the lovely Summer from Hammond's Nest made a really cute little pouch out of one. I'm going to do make them into a pumpkin. I'm going to be using this size mailer. I can tell you which size this is. I'll measure it up in a minute. But they come in all different sizes. I've kept, there's a bigger one than this as well, and I've kept them all because I better take this off just in case. I'm just going to make sure that I take off all the labeling. If you have any problems, just use your heat gun or your hairdryer to pull off any sticky bits. We're going to be painting over and decoupaging over the top of it anyway. So we'll see how we go. Hey there, Dale. How you going, lovely? I hope you're having a good week. Getting ready for the Spooktacular market next week. And then I have just made I'm going to give you a little sneaky peek at some Halloween printables that I've been busy in the background designing at night when I can't sleep. So this is the first little one that I'm going to share with you. This is the little jack-o'-lantern printable. And if you would like any of the products that I use tonight or the supply list for tonight, just comment link, and a little message will pop up in Messenger and it will take you straight to the printable that we're using tonight for this project. So I specifically designed this for this project, but you could use this printable on anything that you want to sort of put a jack-o'-lantern to. A jack-o'-lantern face to. I'm expecting an ice cream. Ooh, that'll be nice. You just had some Lollygobble Bliss Bombs. Jeez, I haven't had those for years, Chris. That's so cool. That is so cool. All right, so I'm just going to cut the little fluffy part off of the mailer because I don't want that part. And you know what? I've forgotten my toy fill. I'm fired. Get in the car. I've been super busy today getting ready for tomorrow night's sip and shop. I really hope I don't slip up and say a swear word. I'm going to try really hard. So I have not gotten myself together properly tonight, so bear with me, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a pencil, and you can choose any side that you want. Like, there's a little bit of sticky residue on this side, so I'm probably going to use this side as to where I'm going to place my printable, if that makes sense. So we're just going to make like a little, well, you'll see as we go. All right, so I'm just grabbing my pencil. I'm just going to put this down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Hey there, Margaret. How you going, lovely? I hope you're having a good week. I'm just going to roughly draw out a pumpkin on the top. It doesn't have to be perfect. And these size, oops, I'm sorry, I meant to tell you what size this was, and I don't have a ruler here. Or do I have my trusty tape measure? Probably not, because I was measuring up things before. You know what? I'm going to go grab my toy fill and I'm going to grab my ruler at the same time, and I can tell you exactly what size this mailer is. Okay, so this mailer size, if I was smart about it, I could have sort of said it's the same size pretty well much as an A4 sheet of paper, but I'll just give you the measurements so that you have a record of it. It's 23 wide, approximately 28.5 long. So that is the mailer that I'm using for this particular one. And I'm just going to roughly draw out a pumpkin. I might make that stem a little bit bigger. If you don't feel comfortable drawing out a printable, I'm sure if you head over to Pinterest, there will be a ton of traceable pumpkins that you can use. Just download, and I'm going to give this one a bit of a pumpkin bottom. You could really have a lot of fun with these. You could even use decoupage paper if you wanted to. That's too perfect, as in round. Okay, that's what we're looking like. Hey there, Marie, how you going, lovely? Those ghosts are so cute. You can see them? Aren't they? I love them. They turned out so cute. They're just, I'll show you what they are, Margaret, because I think you just tuned in and didn't see me. They're just little, they're glass, and they're lampshades. I know they're probably all over Pinterest, but because that's where I saw them, and I was like, I gotta find some of these. And then when I was out thrifting the other day, I found them, and I was like, you are coming home with me. Super cute. And I just used vinyl for the eyes. Okay. Actually, they're the same. It's the same little face as what you got in the DIY surprise box this month, Margaret. The same little face. Okay, so I'm cutting through. I know this sounds a little bit weird, but I'm going to make 2 separate pumpkins. And then we're going to essentially glue this all back together. Thank you, Marie. I hope you're keeping well. Getting ready for the silly season. Okay, so we're just going to throw all this away. Now I have seen, you know, some, actually it doesn't, I have seen some people take away the padded insert, but I'm going to just leave it on because I want it to be spongy. I want it to be a little bit spongy. I've just made this very lopsided. I'm just going to trim this side in a little bit. It's starting to look more like a pear. So maybe you guys might be safe to go get that printable from Pinterest. Although you're probably all better drawers than me. I'm just going to end up making the stalk a little bit longer. Anyway, that's essentially what we've got at the moment. So 2 separate pieces of pumpkin. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to use this as my front because it's a bit sticky from the label. So that's the front, and that's the one that's got the most, yes, you'll have to buy something from Amazon, Margaret, or I do have, oh, not this size. I've only got a, it's a bigger one, and this particular printable won't fit on it unless you printed it out in, what do you call it, A3. You've been away doing some paint training. That is exciting. That is exciting. That is exciting. Always something new to learn, isn't there? All right. So I'm going to try and not slice my finger off with the cutter on the baking paper. I did a good job. See? Ouch. Okay, so I'm not going to paint the front of it. I'm only going to paint the back and try and not get blood all over my pumpkin. Although it could look a little bit eerie if I do that. So I'm going to use Dixie Belle Rusty Nail in my favorite pumpkin color. This is starting to get a little bit thick because someone left the lid off. And that would be me. So I may have to use a little bit of water just to loosen the paint up a little bit. And then we're going to just paint the cardboard. See how we go. Actually, I might decanter that. Just throw everything on the ground. Maybe tonight should be called Faulty Towers. Oh dear. We'll get there, girls. We'll get there. And guys, we'll get there. All right, so I'm just going to pop that out. I'll see what it's like. Yeah, it's a little bit thick, so I'm just going to add some water to it. And I'm just going to paint my pumpkin. I'm only going to paint one side because we're going to be decoupaging the printable onto the other side. Have you guys seen this before, this tutorial? And I have for the life of me forgotten the name of the lady who I got the inspiration for. She made a beautiful pumpkin like this. That's terrible. I will have to go and look for her and leave it in the comments or the description when I'm done, because I do like to acknowledge the person who I got the inspiration from. Okay, so I may have to do like a little bit of a second coat to cover up that black, like the barcode and whatnot. But this essentially is going to be the back of the, hey there Kathy, the back of the pumpkin, so it's not going to be a major problem. I've seen it done as a Christmas stack. There you go. I know Lovely Summer did one as a stack, and she put one of her printables on the front of it, and it was gorgeous. So that's what we're looking like so far. You can just see little bits of the brown paper coming through, but you can also see the barcode. So I will have to give it another coat. We don't want the barcode. We don't want to be, you know, walking through Aldi and scan our pumpkins, do we? So is anyone else crafting along tonight as I'm painting away? If so, let me know what you're doing. Okay, and dry that off. And I've left the stalk because I'm going to probably wrap some twine or something around that. So we'll see how we go. It's in my brain at the moment. This could go pear-shaped. Okay. So we're just going to set that aside for 1 minute. First aid, first aid. All right, so I'm going to just hold that up to the light so that I can line up my the jack-o'-lantern face. It's a little bit wider, but that's okay because once we've got it together, we can always trim it up. I don't know if you guys can see that. I've just gone a little bit too wide on the side here, but we can always trim that up in a minute. Now, you've got to make sure that this is, yes, this face the right way. Otherwise, when you trace it and go to put it back down, it'll be wrong. So I'm just going to quickly trace around the printable. And if you're just tuning in and you would like the supply list, including the printable that I'm using, just comment link. And that will take you straight to the, that is some terrible tracing. That'll take you straight to the list of goodies that I use tonight. I can't believe that it's like, you know, we're getting ready for, you know, like the 4th quarter. Like, it's crazy. It's gone so quick this year. I'm just going to cut that out. The other way you could do it is just stick your printable on and then just cut around your pumpkin. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do that because then that way that allows for no error. Okay, so I'm just going to take some decoupage, but you could use Mod Podge. See? I don't know if I'm safe to craft tonight, girls. Just sticking my finger in the paint. Maybe I'm going to start doing some finger painting. Ugh. Take 2. Put you in there. Okay. I may need to just add a little bit of hot glue to this as well. We'll see what happens. I'm just putting it straight onto the Amazon mailer. I'm just going to wrap a piece of painter's tape around my cut because it keeps bleeding. Please excuse me. They're the worst, aren't they? When you cut yourself on the strips on the foil and they sting like, it's like a paper cut. I don't mind it, Chris. I don't mind the decoupage. I find it not as thick and gluggy as Mod Podge. But, you know, you can always kind of, my words will come out. You can always water Mod Podge down a little bit as well, but I don't mind it. It's got a little bit of a smell to it, like a gluey smell. Nothing offensive, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And it's $11.95 for 236 mils. Well, that's what I paid for it. I don't know if it's what it is in your neck of the woods, but that's what I paid for it. I bought some but not used it yet. Okay, let me know what you think. Yeah, they are nasty cuts. Okay, I'm just going to dry that off. So I'm going to have to give him a little bit of a trim. And I haven't found that the decoupage, like that's all crinkled up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm not, see how that's a little bit crinkly because it's kind of following the patterns of the bubble wrap. But I don't mind that because I want it to look all grungy and old and stuff. Yep, and Sam just got, and now we're bleeding like through the tape. Please hold, guys. This might be a bloody pumpkin. Doesn't help that I'm on blood thinners. Sorry, guys. If I try and wet that, that's gonna rip. Or just blend it in. Gosh. Okay. I should have probably put some tissue down first. I'm just gonna dry that off a bit. Okay. All right. So I'm now going to see if that will come off. It might be a bit too flimsy. Yeah, I'm just going to cut it off, but a little bit further out. What did I just do with my scissors? So that I can trim it when I join the other half of the pumpkin together. I thought these would look super cute, you know, like sitting on your shelves, or you know, like even if you made a whole stack of them in all different sizes, you might make cute little bowl fillers. Okay, so that's what we're looking like the front, and this is what we're looking like at the back. Hopefully they match. Well, we can trim it up in a minute once I've maybe glued them together. I'm gonna have to trim I'm just gonna trim the front part off a little bit, because I don't want any of that plastic to be showing. I may even just come along with a dry brush and add a little bit more of the Dixie Belle Rusty Nail. Dixie Belle Rusty Belle. We'll get there, kids, we'll get there. Okay, so I've just given my pumpkin a little haircut. So that's what we're looking like so far. This is going to be tricky. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, before I do that, I might just trim, oh no. I think the easiest thing is going to be just to stick it all together and then come back and trim. So I'm just going to use my glue gun. This is obviously going to melt the plastic a little bit, so be careful. I'm going about 1 centimeter in from the edge. Actually, probably 1/2 centimeter from the edge. And I essentially want to glue this all back together again. But I'm going to leave a little space at the bottom, probably about, I don't know, 5 centimeters or so. And it's up to you, like if you wanted to, you can rip out the bubble wrap, but the bubble insert of your mailer, but as I said, I kind of wanted to, I like that feeling, like it's spongy. We're all stuck together. I got my friends next door tonight. If you're wondering what those noises are, they've got working back late, moving some stuff around. So that's what that noise is in the background, if you're wondering. So I've just got some toy fill. This one's from Spotlight, just the hobby fill that I use. Hey Christina, how you going, lovely? I hope you're keeping well. Good morning. Hope you've got a coffee in hand. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly start. I probably didn't leave myself enough gap, but I'm just going to start popping in some of the toy fill into the pumpkin. You probably want to leave a bigger gap than what I did, but anyway. And then I'm just going to use a handy dandy end of a brush. I'm just going to push that toy fill. And this will be the true test of your gluing. See, I've already had a blowout. I think I might have missed that bit. But I want to get some up into the stalk. a little bit into the stalk. Maybe I'll go around this way. Maybe I left that part open on purpose. I'm just going to sort of feather that out a little bit. It's probably easier to do small bits at a time rather than one big bit. Ooh, make a nice pillow. I'm just going to glue my little blowout there. Has anyone been making anything Halloweeny? I've got some things made for tomorrow night's sip and shop, and I've also kept a couple of things, so I'm ready for the Spooktacular, which is here in the Emporium on the 28th. So I've been busy. So hopefully you can join me tomorrow night at 7 o'clock here on my Facebook page. Sorry, I'm probably confusing you. There's lots of things happening at the moment, and will be, I guess, till the end of the year. Okay, so I'm just closing off that little hole, and this will be a good chance for you to go around and check and make sure that, just trim back any bits you need to, and glue anything that you might need. All right, I'll hold that up so you can see. So that's the front and that's the back. You think you're all Halloweened out? Oh, you're doing your DIY surprise craft box, Margaret. That's cool. What do you, don't say anything. We can't yet, in case some of the girls haven't started yet or opened theirs. You're a bit of a Grinch when it comes to Halloween. No little kidlets around. Ah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. So I'm just going to take my handy dandy Gator sander, and I'm going to see what happens, and I'm just going to knock back, hopefully, because I want to make this all grungy. This probably would have been easier to do while it was not a pillow, or a little pillow. But I also have to be careful that I don't obviously go all the way back to the barcode. I just wanted to let some of that brown, I feel like that's not strong enough. I don't have my other sanders here, do I? No, they're all over on the workbench. So this will have to do. I may come back and just dress this a little bit harder with my sanding block. I just don't have one here. I don't want to leave you guys again. So that's what it's looking like so far. And I've also got some Fusion espresso wax, and I'm just gonna dab around the outside. I know this is the back, but you know, gotta have fun with it, you know, sort of making the back as well. And I'm just gonna Just grungy that up a little bit. It's only just going to probably deepen the colour of the rusty nail a little bit and make it aged a little bit. Just need to trim back. You could also sort of like, if you wanted to add like the little creases of the, I'm obviously going to blend this in, but if you wanted to sort of make that, the back of the pumpkin have a little bit of depth, you could do that with your wax as well. I'm just using a Chuck's cloth to kind of blend it in a bit. Okay, so that's what our back's looking like. It's a bit sheeny just in the center there. I just need to blend that a little bit better. That's a really nice color. I like that with the wax on the top. So over the front here, just gonna get rid of this excess at the bottom here. This is where we have some fun, making some embellishments. Okay, I'm gonna, first of all, I'm gonna go around the outside. I'm just gonna add a little bit of depth with the wax. I'll hold it up in a minute. I'm just dabbing that on. I'm not really, because the paper's quite nicely distressed as it is. Or mottly looking, I should say, not distressed. And always, if you're a little bit scared about going down too heavy with your waxes, go down first with a little bit of clear wax, and then you'll be able to go back over it if you happen to go on a little bit too heavy. I love using the Chuck's cloth because it just helps blend everything in a little bit better. How cute is he? It shouldn't be I don't think it's this end, Yvette. I've been okay. I haven't had any dropouts. Hopefully it's not your end. And it better not be after I have spent all this money on Starlink. You have the intermittent freezing. Okay, thank you, Sue-Ann, for letting me know. I wonder why that is. There shouldn't be, but... Alright, so I've just got a bit of jute. I'm just going to see what this looks like if we just wrap it around. I don't know, because then we kind of lose the raven at the top there. I was thinking of making this like the jute, a little stalk, but maybe I might just end up doing like a bit of a messy bow. I'll see what you guys, I'll cover it and then you guys can tell me what you think. Whether we should have the jute stalk or leave it. Oh, I need a little bit more jute, but hopefully you guys can see. Should we do the jute stalk or just leave it as is? With the raven showing, the raven print showing. Let me know in the comments. You're clear here, no interruptions. Thank you, Gail. Yours stops when you comment, Margaret. That's no good. Oh, thank you, Dale. Thank you for letting me know. It's always a bit of a worry that things... Jute stalk, jute... 3 jutes. Jute it is. I'm gonna have to start again because I just unraveled that top part. Looks like we're going jute. Thank you, guys. I'm gonna start at the back so I can put the jute across the back there. Just let that dry a little bit before I start wrapping. Everyone's going for the jute. Okay, I'm gonna start winding that around, and I'll probably just add a couple of little dabs of jute at the back so it holds it in place. Ooh, getting noisy next door. They have big huge bits of steel like fencing and stuff like that, so that's what all that banging and clanging is that you're hearing. And they may have got a shipment they may have had a big delivery, so Godwin's here probably busy packing them all away. If you wanted to, you could also print another print, the same printable off, and do it at the back, so it's matching if you wanted to. But I just love my. But then also too, if it's not Halloween anymore, you could just flip it around and have it as a pumpkin. You like the jute too, Gail? I didn't. He was just using a bit of scrap, so I was hoping that it was going to be enough, but it's not. So I will have to anchor that down and start again. Good thing I did cut my hand. It's good for not burning myself up with the glue gun. I'm going to put the paint lid on that before I throw it on the floor. Stalk nice and stiff as well. It won't be bendable as much. I'm just going to cut that last bit off. Be careful of your fingers when you're doing this. Oh. loosen up a little bit on the back there that was a bit loose. Okay, so there we have our stalk. I feel like I need to bring that down a bit further. I missed half of it. How did I do that? Or maybe that's why it's slipping up. Just put a little bit of glue under there just to hold that front part. We're going to probably cover this up anyway, so there's that. It's so cute. What do you think, guys? Let me know what you think. Hey, Belinda, how you going, lovely? How's your little puppy dog going? Who I'm yet to meet. Okay. Oh, dear. All right. What shall we do next? So I've got a couple of bits of greenery here. They're very big bits of greenery. I might have to trim these down a bit. We might have to trim those down a bit, or I might use Spanish moss. We'll see how we go. But I also wanted to make a little tag, like similar to the one that we did last week. But I've got these, I went scavenging through Debbie's scavenger drawer things that she has here in the Emporium, and I found these really cool rusty old labels. I don't know if that will be too big, but I was thinking that I'm going to put that onto the label like so. And I've kept the piece of paper that we had last week from, I don't know whether or not I'll cover this one in paper as well and then grubby it up. Yeah, I think I will. I'm really liking that at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some more of my decoupage, and I'm just going to basically, these are thicker cardstock tags, the craft tags, and I'm just going to basically just decoupage straight over the top. Hopefully I'm straight. Just need a little bit more. For the top, I'm just going straight over the little eyelet. I'll make a hole for that in a minute. Just make sure I've got everything. Just dry that off. That's okay. I get it. Life is busy at the moment, or crazy. Okay, I'm just going to sand that off. All the excess book page. I think I need to change the sanding pad on my Gator sander. Who would have thought that this was an Amazon mailer? Okay. Just going to grab a little bit of wax, and I'm just going to grubby up the edges of the, sorry, I didn't hold that up. That's the tag, and I'm just going to go around the edge now with my Fusion Espresso. Just grubby up those edges. I'm just using what's essentially a stenciling brush. So that's what that's looking like so far. Just grab a pencil and poke the hole through the, it's a bit wet. And I'm going to hopefully glue this on so that it will look like that. I may have to use some E6000, but we'll see how we go. Just hold that for a minute. And that's what we're looking like. How cute is that? So stinking cute. I'm going to bring my pumpkin back. Now we need to make a zhuzhi bow. So I've got some lace here, but I'm thinking that I might grubby this up a little bit with some coffee. But before I do that, I'm going to cut. Oh, actually, no, I'm not. Yes, I'm going to cut a couple of. I'm going to make a messy bow, so I'm just going to cut a couple of lengths. This might be a bit too big, but we can always trim it down. I don't want to make it too zhuzhy. I've also got some calico here, which I'll grubby up as well. Just make it a little bit thinner than the lace. So I've got 2 of those. And then I've got some, I don't know, might just go with the black. Where is it at the end of that? All the way over here. Trick or Treat. I got this from Kmart last year. I don't know if they're doing ribbons this year. I did notice that the Kmart Halloween section is out, but I haven't had a chance to have a look and see what goodies they have. Came with 3 ribbons, 3 separate ribbons. So it's also got this orange one as well, but I think I will leave the orange one out. I might use the black and white stripe one if I can get the sticky tape off. Where's the end? Come on. Doesn't want to come off. Probably cut half the ribbon and waste it, but anyway, it's really stuck on. Just get rid of that bit of tape. Cut that bit as well. Just wasted a bit of ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to quickly just grubby up the calico and the lace, and I'm just going to do that using coffee. So I'll just spray those first. I'm going to move my pumpkin out of the way. Just spray that quickly. This is a really quick and easy way to grubby up your material. I'm just going to sprinkle some coffee over the top. And then I'm just going to spray it again. Just use my finger to break up the larger pieces of coffee. Just sort of dab it across the material and the lace to give it kind of like a bit of a mottled look. I'm going to do the back as well. I have to sprinkle a little bit more coffee on that side. And that's Kat's clock going off. It's not on the right side and the right time, so don't be alarmed. I think that was 3 o'clock, wasn't it? Okay, so once I've got that all done, I'm then just going to dry it off. I'm just going to now scrunch it all up and get all the good bits. Oops. So that's essentially what we're left with. I've gone really grungy, and now I'm just going to use my heat gun to dry it off. You could also chuck it in the microwave for a little bit if you wanted to. Get rid of that. That's now covered in coffee. And then I'm just going to make my little messy bow. So I'm going to start off with the lace, calico, stripey. Actually, I might put the stripey in between the calico and the lace. And I'm just going to keep layering until I've used up all my fabric and lace. Oop. And then I'm just going to grab a little bit of jute. Pinch this in the center here, like so. Oops, sorry. And then I'm going to just go round and round in circles. To create the center of the bow, the messy bow. You could also do like a loopy bow if you wanted to and layer it all on top of each other. But I think this will do the trick. You guys are very quiet tonight. There's not much chitter chatter going on, unless I'm missing comments. Chris must have her ice cream. Are you eating your ice cream, Chris? I wish I was eating an ice cream. Okay. So I'm just gonna fluff that out a little bit. I just need to dry off those edges a little bit. They're still a little bit wet. Done and dusted. That's my Chris. That's so funny. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that around, and that's what we're left with. Thank you, Dale. Anyway, we can play around with that a little bit when we get it onto our little pumpkin. How cute is he? So cute. All right, so I think we will have to put a little bit of green behind him, the bow. I don't know, we'll see what this... Okay, I'm gonna put you guys to the test. Seeing as you're really quiet tonight, I hope you haven't fallen asleep. Shall we use... if I can get my life together. Shall we use... obviously I need to trim these back a bit. Shall we use the greenery? And I need to play around with that a bit. So will we use the greenery, or shall we use a little bit of the Spanish moss behind the bow? Don't mind that, a bit partial to the moss. What do you think, guys? Should we do the Spanish moss, or shall we do the greenery? Leave a little comment below, and we can have a little poll while I clean up my mess that I just made. It's the bomb. Moss, both are cute. Jane likes the moss. Did I miss anyone else? Cute. It looks like a cute little fringe. It does, doesn't it? Spanish, says Kathy. Okay, we're going Spanish. Just gonna gather that up a little bit. Put a little bit of glue there. A little bit. It's like half a glue stick, Sam. I'm just making sure that it doesn't come off. Just add a little bit onto the side here as well, so these bits don't move so much. Can always give it a haircut afterwards. I love this as an alternative, instead of pumpkin leaves, like making it, ow, watch your fingers. Instead of, yeah, sort of like leaves, it's pretty. And I love the green against the aged printable. And then when we add the bow, I feel like it should be on a slight, so it sort of goes with the pumpkin stalk. How stinking cute is he? What do you think, guys? What do you think? And of course, we're going to put our little tag on. Maybe I need to grubby that up a little bit further. Oh, and I also have these gorgeous little bells. Maybe that'll be a bit too much. Let's see. Don't you go away. It's always fun trying to So also at Christmas time, trying to get the jute through the top of the bells. Go a little bit. Sorry, Chris. But I'm sure that they'll be beautiful when you do. You'll love them. You'll love it. You'll be addicted like I am. I may have to play around with that. Oh, stop. Might have to put him on separately. He's not sitting properly. And I kind of think I maybe should have done this underneath. Nope. The way I had it was cool. Big bangs. I may even attach the, I'm thinking, I have somewhere, and I tried to look for it earlier, but I can't find it because I am in the middle of cleaning up out the back of house, some wired jute, to kind of like make some curly whirlies. So I may attach the little, oh no, he's cute. Please. So that's with the little tag. How cute is that? What do you think, guys? Am I going for overkill now by adding this as well? You can never have too much, right? You could also get a little bit, if you wanted to make it even more aged, you could use your toothbrush and age it up that way too, with some dark paint. I think this jute's going to be a little bit, I need Brandon's jute that he kindly made for me or gave me in my little birdhouse. It's a little bit thinner. I don't leave much room in the top of the bells to get anything through. Nope. Giving up. I've got some black wire here. Maybe that will be a bit easier. Wire cutters. This is why I don't like cleaning up and putting things away, because then you don't know where anything is anymore. Do you guys find that? Like when you're crafting and stuff, and things are sort of like within reach, you know where everything is, but once you start putting things away, you don't know where anything is. Isn't it cute, Dale? I love him. He's very cute. Oh man. We may not get this bell on tonight. It might take me a little while to get something threaded through, because it's not easy getting it through the duvlaki. I normally don't give up, but I don't want to keep you guys here waiting while I'm trying to thread through. Why does everything have to be so hard today? It has been one of those days, you know, when everything just is, it's just everything just, see if that helped. Now the wire's bending. Oh, almost through. Yes. is not easy, guys. This is not easy. Yeah, the pliers, I did that, Chris. It's not, if you can see at the top of the bell, it's like, there's not even much room for me to grab hold of to pull it, which is what you saw me just do. But now, I have it. I've got it. I've got it. I won. And look at that. See, I've threaded my wire. I'm just going to wrap this, big noise, sorry about that, somehow around. Make it into a bow. The things we do for craft, right? You know what, I'm just going to thread it straight through the hole and just sit it like a little hanger, because I don't want to play anymore with the bell. Me too, Jane. I was just about to throw it across the other side of the Emporium. They're from Temu, Chris. Where else would they be from? That's why they don't have a bigger thing. No, it's not just because of Temu. Okay. So I need to play around a little bit, but you guys have been patient while I've been fighting with the bell, okay? So there we go. What do you reckon? How cute is he? I'm going to probably have to glue some things into place so that it doesn't fall down and onto his face, but I can do that off screen. Oh boy, the things we do. How cute. Yes, but I need to definitely play around so that he sits a little bit better on the tag, because I want him to sit right where he is. But if I turn him straight, he's gonna fall. See how he droops a little bit? How cute. Well, thank you guys for being so patient with me tonight as I've cut myself, had a fight with a pumpkin, with a jack-o'-lantern bell. Yeah, it's great. It's been a great night. All right, guys, I will take a photo of this and share it here on my page so you can have a better look. Thank you so much for keeping me company tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this little project of making it out of an Amazon satchel. So make sure you hang on to those every time you order something from Amazon, because they make really good projects. Never a dull moment, Chris. Never a dull moment. All right, guys. And if you do want the printable that I've used tonight, don't forget to comment link. And a little message will pop up. If you're on YouTube, that won't work for you. Although the links will be below in the comments, and you'll find the link to this printable, so you can make one too. All right, guys, you have an awesome week. I'll see you tomorrow night for the Sip and Shop. Gotta be careful. Sip and Shop night here on my page at 7 o'clock. And Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll look forward to hanging out with you guys then. All right, guys, you take care. Bye.
On a Wednesday night at the same old spot, spending every dollar I got. 2, 3 shots won't leave one dry, and a jukebox on live.